Hello, my friends. Jerry Rosa here in the Rosa String Works Workshop with Bill Webb. Bill holds the all-time record for staying at the rental retreat. What is this? This is number six? Number 6.
5 or 6.
Yeah, wow. Anyway, Bill has brought me some stuff. Several things, actually. First of all, I'll show you the gifts he brought. He brought me some carbon paper, which I can always use carbon paper, but you know, as I'm getting older, though, I think like this is a lifetime supply right here. But thank you. I can always use that. Carbon paper is useful for tracing joints and, you know, making tight fitting joints on necks and things. And he also brought me some other goodies. He brought me a tight bond brush. That's pretty cool. It's got rubber bristles. They're rubber, and then it's got the spreader down here too. That's pretty cool. I like that. So we'll put that to use. And here is a lot of nice stuff. This is heavy-duty leather, like belt leather. And it's excellent for making pads and things for my clamps, and I absolutely use the heck out of stuff like this, so thank you very much.
You're welcome.
I really do appreciate it. But he also brought me some work too. So he brought a Yamaha guitar, and tell him the story on this.
That's Yamaha 335. A guy put it on Facebook Marketplace for $35.
Wow.
And so I jumped on it and went to pick it up, and it was in a $65 or $75 gig bag. But I tried to give him 40, but he said, nope, 35 is what I asked. That's what and so I thought, well, okay. And it's a really nice guitar for $35.
Yeah,
Plus a free gig bag.
You can't beat that. And we're going to do a detailed sit-up. You know how Texans are. They get jealous of other Texans. And he saw another Texan in here where I set up his Martin up really tight. Well, he said, he can't be outdone if he lives in Texas too, you know. Yeah. I think the other guy was close to Fort Worth. How far are you from Fort Worth?
I'm about 2 hours east of Fort Worth.
Competitors down there, you know. So now the pressure's on. I have to do just as good on this one as I did on that Martin for Mr. Whitsitt. And I think we can do it. It looks like it's in pretty good shape, really, overall. You know, neck joint wise, I wouldn't call it perfect, but I think it's usable. You know, I think we can make it work like this.
It's really high.
Yeah, the strings are pretty high right here.
What's that you say?
I throw a dog through there. Yeah, it does look pretty high, but let's just go ahead and pull the camera down here and see how high it really is. You know, sometimes I get a little bit confused on these things. They look higher than they are, but this one here is as high as it looks. This one's 150 thousandths. That's just how far my measurer goes. If it was any taller than that, I couldn't measure it. Right at 150 thousandths on the bass side. Not quite so bad on the treble side, but it's still high too. About 120 or so on the treble. So yeah, both of those are real high. The sad part about that is this bridge is already fairly thin and this saddle's already pretty low. So we'll just have to see what it's going to take to lower it down there. Now you were more concerned up at this end too, though, right?
On the nut, yeah.
Yeah, because he doesn't play up the neck all that much. He said he's mostly the cowboy chord type player, right?
Yep. Yes.
And
I'll make no apologies for it.
Yeah. Well, I do too. That's the only way I play it. So I got no apologies. So. Yeah, it is a little high for sure. It's a little bit high. The biggest problem, though, I think that we might have is if this isn't lowered, then the intonation may not be all that great. So let's just check the intonation real quick and see where we're at on that too, just to kind of have a starting point. Okay, I'll try to get the camera here where you guys can maybe see that a little bit. I'll zoom in just a little bit. Maybe you can see the needle there. Well, the intonation is pretty good. A little bit sharp there. About 15 cents sharp on that one. Let me check this one again just to make sure it didn't lie to me. Some people may say you need to use a pick, but to be honest, you actually get a better tone and a more true tone without a pick. It is a little bit sharp there now. Now I'm seeing it. Let me check it again. Yeah, it is a little bit sharp. They're both about 15 cents sharp. So, I do think we need to lower this down some. By lowering this, that will actually lower this a little bit, but only a little bit. But it doesn't need a ton, so we might be good after we lower this. So, you know, and then we'll get into the detail of this up here. Plus, we'll check the nut and all that. Matter of fact, let's listen to the clarity of tone on each string right now. I don't know if it's up to tune or not. Probably not. I don't hear any extra notes. So the clarity's good. The steel strings are ringing out pretty good. These strings here are deader than a doornail. I mean, the wrap strings are dead as they can be. I don't know what those are exactly. I would assume they're probably a standard
they're
bronze.
80-20 phosphor bronze. That's what I use.
You think they're phosphor bronze? Yeah. Okay.
And this one hangs on the wall, so it gets exposed to the.
Yeah, it doesn't sound like phosphor bronze, but maybe it is. You know, it probably just it's just got oxidized or whatever.
Well, I've only got 7 or 8 acoustic guitars. So
yeah, only 7 or 8.
Ain't no telling what I put on any one of them at any given time.
Right. Okay, well, I think I'm going to start, if you don't care, I think I'm going to start down here and see if we can lower this a little bit. And I think we can. I think, you know, we may not get it all the way where I'd like to see this, but I think if we can lower it, you know, about halfway between where it is and where I think it needs to be, at least halfway, then I think we'll be a lot better off. So let's see if we can do that. Well, my friends, I've knocked down 30 thousandths off of this, which will only drop it 15 thousandths here. That's still going to be quite high, and for most people, I don't think you'd be real happy with that. But we don't have a lot to work with here, and I could only drop it down that much, and it really brings it down pretty close to the level of this bridge. So what I'm going to do is knock a little bit of this bridge down, and we'll clean it back up, and we'll make it work. At least we're getting closer. The only other way to do it would be a total neck reset, and that would be expensive. They always want to be carved the opposite way of which way I want to carve them. Wood is grabbing that way, so if I go this way, it'll carve real easy. But I have to carve it down a little bit, or I won't have any clearance at all. And even with this carved down, we're going to have to probably deepen these grooves just a little bit. That's pretty good. Now we'll take and smooth it off here with a little scraper. That'll probably make it work, but it's still going to be right on the edge. Hopefully this will help the intonation a little bit, but I don't think it's going to bring it up 15 cents. I'm hoping we get at least 5 cents out of it. 10 cents off on your intonation isn't horrible, it's just not great. 15 cents, you can pretty much hear that. Especially if you put a capo on, and you'll have to be retuning all the time with 15 cents. 10 cents, the people that are really picky will hear that, and I'm not necessarily one of those guys. Some days I can hear that, and some days I cannot. All right, so now we got to get a little sandpaper and clean that up. That was the Be Good oil. B meaning B-E-E, as in the kind that buzzes around trees. So it's got beeswax in it, is what it is. It's oil with beeswax, and it's food safe. I think that looks pretty good, and hopefully now the saddle will be tall enough still to actually make it play. And the truth is, it's just barely, but it is there, I think. It's not my first rodeo on these kinds of things. I know what to expect, and I knew it was going to be really close to working. But you can only do what you can do. So what I'm going to do is give myself a little bit of clearance here for the, otherwise it's not going to have enough pressure on the saddle. That bit is bent. No, it didn't. It just didn't get tight somehow. I don't know. Oh, the collet's not tight enough. That's the problem. I'm going to have to put a smaller collet in or use a different bit, one of the two. Okay, take two here. I've got a different bit. The other one, the collet wouldn't get tight on the other one. Yeah, it's just barely any clearance there, so if you don't do something like that, it won't work. Ask me how I know. Bill got a bang-up price on these strings. They're Diodario Phosphor Bronze from, he got them at Walmart. They were closing them out, and he got, what, a 3-pack for $7 or something?
$7.99 for 3 sets.
For 3 sets. You can't hardly beat that. Okay, well, I'm going to go ahead and put the strings on this. I've showed my technique so many times, I'm not going to bother showing it. I'll just show you what it looks like here once we get them on. Well, we dropped it quite a bit. This is about 93 on this side now. So that's pretty good. This side here is still a little bit high. It started out 150, so we're 120 or so. So we dropped it quite a bit. That's probably doable. I mean, it's not horrible. It definitely could be better, but that's not horrible. The negative is I'm going to have to work on this a little bit more because there's just not enough clearance here on a couple of these, but I still think that's fixable. I don't think that's going to be an issue. While I've got it strung up here, I'm going to check the nut end now. That's just about right. Little bit high. This one's a little high. Little bit high. So they're teeny tiny bit high on those three. This one's quite a bit. This one's quite a bit. This one's a little bit. So the wrap strings are just a little high. This G here is, this E is just barely high at all. We're going to start with it, and what we're going to do is look at the nut here. I'm not hearing any weird overtones on this one, so I don't think the nut is cut too tight. But I'm just going to give it a good consistent filing here, and I'm watching it very carefully because I don't want to drop below where it's been filed here at the back edge. This back edge should be the highest place, or if you're looking at it from the other direction, you could call this the front edge. It depends on your perspective, but the inside edge here should be the highest point. And so what I'm doing is I'm just filing it lightly until I see that clean up. And then I'm going to check it again to make sure we didn't go too low, and we shouldn't have. Okay, we're good. But if you really watch it, you can tell when you get to that edge, and then you know you're right on the money. And I'm just going to drop it down just a little bit more, and we should be good. Still just a teeny bit we can go. Material, whatever the material is, it's filing a little hard. That's back at pitch. Still high, because one way you can tell if you're still high is you hit your note, slide that under. If it doesn't change, you're still high. This will probably get us real close. Now, so you can hear it now. And it's still just a fraction high, but I mean, like, it's so minimal now you can barely even detect that it's moving. This one we can see the movement in, so I'm going to go ahead and drop this one down next. The thing about it is you don't want to go past your point of return, because then you got to make a new nut, and we don't want to do that. So again, for your benefit there watching this, you start on your angle and you just lightly file it. You look down in there and you see if it's cleaned up back to this inside edge. It has not cleaned up all the way yet, so I'm going to go a little bit more. That's real close. Now I'm going to check it again to make sure that it doesn't just drop down in there, because a lot of times that's what happens. Now I'm going to check that one, see if it's good. It could be called good, but it's just a fuzz high, so we're going to go ahead and take a little bit more off. Best to have them up at pitch when you check them, and the reason is there's just lots of things that can happen. Yeah, I can barely detect that it's going down. Let's try my vibration test. Yep, I can still get in there, so we're okay. I thought it was just a hair high, but it's just barely detectable high. Well, it's right on the edge, but we can still go a hair lower. As long as we can go lower, we're going to keep going. The only way you can do it is just to keep repeating. There you go, right there. I mean, like, you can't even see it move. Now we'll look at this one, and you can see this one moving a little bit, but only a little bit. So we're going to need to do the same thing here. Now on this one, I'm going to again demonstrate that the fact that we're going to start our angle here at about the peg head angle, and we're going to just file off. And right now, when I start that, I'm hitting the front edge. I'm not even touching the back edge at all. That's because whoever filed it the last time wasn't. I mean, I'm not saying they did it wrong, but they left it a shallower angle. And you don't really want a shallow angle. You want to make sure that the last place it touches is on this inside edge. So filing parallel to your peg head is what I recommend. I'm going to call that good. And now again, we're going to check it before we drop it any. Trust me, you can get surprised in a hurry if you don't check it. Okay. See, we're good because we're not vibrating. So we can still go lower. Right there, I think we're on the money. Just about perfect. Slide it right in there without lifting the string, and yet it don't move at all when you press down. That's just as close to perfect as you can do. And this one here, it's going to need a little bit too, the G string. As shown here, we're going to do the exact same thing. We're going to change the angle to match the peg head. And that brings me back to that inside edge. And we're plenty high because we're not buzzing. So we're going to go ahead and drop her down. It's right on the edge. I think we can still go down just a hair more because I can still see just the faintest amount of movement in it. That's probably all I want to do right there. Perfect. It's right on the money. You can't see it move. Okay, all right, the B string and the E string, we're going to have some additional difficulties because they're just barely making a contact back here on the saddle. So what I'm going to do is loosen them up. We'll do the same process. We'll try to kill two birds with one stone. This one actually needs quite a bit. This is probably the highest one. It almost needs, a full pick width taken out of it. We're going to work on both ends of this B string for sure. The way I'm going to work on it is I'm going to have to lower the back of this a little bit more to give it a little bit more angle. I believe that'll do it. All right, once again, the peg head angle again, just check it. Yeah, it's a long way from coming to the back. On the first filing, I can see it. Okay, we know this one's going to need some, so I'm going to go ahead and get it a little bit more. But it also cuts pretty fast on these little strings, so you got to be careful. Yeah, I can see a little bit of a bend in the string back there at the saddle now, where before I couldn't. So we're about right there. It's not perfect, but it's about as good as we're going to do on this guitar right now. It's real close to the right height, but we can go down just a little tiny bit more. If you came all the way from Texas, we have to get it right. It's pretty close. I might be able to get a little bit more of that one yet. Yep, I think I can. Yep, I think we can still go down just a little bit more. I think that's going to be it. Yep, we're there. You can tell by that sound. Yep, and yet it doesn't move when you press it, and yet it doesn't raise it up when you stick it under there either. So it's just perfect. Now we've just got the E string to do, and we've got the same problem with the E as we had with the B. We're going to have to work on both ends of it also. But I'm just checking to get a visual that it needs quite a bit. Not quite as much as the B string needed, but it's got to come down quite a bit. And again, I'm checking that angle, and I always look down in there, and you can see that the front of this is white and the back of it's black, and that's because we're not at the right angle yet all the way through the slot. Still not quite there, but almost. That's about it right there. So the only thing I'm going to do now is I'm just going to make sure these sides are opened up, and I'm going to drop this down a little bit more, but not too much. And that should get us there. Let's see if it passes the buzz test here. We might still be a bit high. Yep, it's still high. Yep, still just a hair high. Don't want to go too far too fast. I think we're right there. Double check it here. Yep, that's just right on the money. So let's tune it up now and we'll see if Bill will play it for you. How's that? Okay, so here's what she sounds like. Tuned up. Much better. Yeah, it plays easy now. Okay, we're going to check the intonation, and here's what it sounds like. So there's your E, and then it's only about 3 cents, 2 cents high, so that's not bad. That looks like that's right on the money. Whoops, hit the wrong one. That's right on the money. Right on the money. Pretty dang close. I'd say that was right on the money. That one's about 3 cents high. So we got a couple that are about 3 cents high, but you can't beat that. I mean, that, for considering, you know, where we started there to where we're at now, that's pretty darn good. So we'll let Bill play with it here and see what he thinks.
Yeah.
Are you good with it?
I'm good.
You're not jealous against the other Texan now? Okay, just you gotta make sure. You gotta keep peace in the United States here. We don't want no border war.
I'm jealous because he's got a nice Martin guitar.
Oh well, I can't help you with that part.
That's the thing about Jerry. He works on them. He's not prejudiced. He'll work on a Yamaha or he'll work on a Martin.
It's like when I'm playing music. I can screw up any song in any key. I can screw up any guitar. It doesn't matter what brand.
Play a song I wrote for my kids.
Okay.
It's called "I've Got a Mermaid in My Guitar."
Okay.
Oh, I've got a mermaid in my guitar. She swims around down there in the dark, but she's not alone. She got a friend, you see. She got a plastic monkey to keep her company. You may hear her rattle, you may hear her roll, coming from deep inside that old sound hole. But don't be frightened, don't be afraid. It's a plastic monkey and a green mermaid, and I got a mermaid in my guitar. She swims around down there in the dark, but she's not alone. She got a friend, you see. She got a plastic monkey to keep her company. I know they like my music, well they never complain. Tucked away safe inside, away from the rain. But I'll shake them out sometime and let them watch me play. A breath of warm sunshine, brighten up their day. And I got a mermaid in my guitar. She swims around down there in the dark, but she's not alone. She got a friend, you see. She got a plastic monkey to keep her company. She got a plastic monkey to keep her company.
Awesome.
No, man, that is.
Now the only problem is I'm seasick.
That's a whole different guitar. Yeah. Well, that's back when the day when they put the little plastic things on your Sonic drink. You get a mermaid.
Oh yeah.
Well, my
Okay.
granddad always had a rattlesnake rattle in his guitar.
Oh.
So I felt like I needed something to rattle around in mine, so I
Sure.
put that plastic mermaid in there.
There you go.
And then the kids would ask me, "What's that rattling around in your guitar?" So I got a mermaid in my guitar. So anyway, that's how that song.
So it's a true story to
It's a true
boot.
story. It's sitting around
I'll
here.
be darned. Well, there you go. You can't write very many true stories about mermaids in your guitar.
Got to be true, right?
It's got to be true.
Oh,
Can't make that up.
That is so nice.
You like it?
Yeah, that's crazy how much difference that makes.
Well, he sat there, he watched me do it, and you can see that it's just a black and white technique. It's not complicated. You just have to take your time, and you have to do it over and over and over and over. Don't get in a hurry and try to do it all in one adjustment. Make little adjustments, do it a bunch of times, and you'll end up exactly where you want to be.
And having the proper tools.
Yep, having the proper tools always helps. We hope you enjoyed that, guys, so thanks so much for watching.